We need to stop giving our AI agents one job. This is the mistake I keep seeing multiple people on Twitter and on YouTube content in general do, is they just think they are mastering prompts and that agent will execute successfully. In fact, a top Anthropic engineer just said it I think 2 days ago, where she mentioned that we need to stop working on prompts, but instead build loops. In theory, a loop is just guiding the agent along the way to make sure it's doing the correct things with the correct context, with the correct skills, because that kind of process is much better than just prompting. I discovered a method with my Hermes agent that has completely 10x the output of all of the workflows I do with my business, and I'm gonna show it right here in this quick video. Now, if you use Hermes agent, you know they have the Kanban boards, or what we call agent orchestration. It is one of the best built-in features I believe Hermes has developed, and if you use it correctly with the right profiles, I promise you it will make a difference in all outputs you're looking for. The wrong way to do this is for one single agent to be the end-all be-all of whatever the prompt may be. Because if you just send a detailed prompt, which for the past 2 years, a lot of people were saying being a prompt engineer and mastering how to prompt is going to be the successful future for individuals. And there was a point where I believed that too, until I really started to master an agent harness and really realized that multiple agents within a loop with the correct context is ultimately better. And that's why this right method right here is, yes, prompting is still important, but prompt it and then let the agent orchestration default into knowing what kind of profiles and specialists it's need for the task. Some of the prompts that we are building out are multiple tasks within one task. So it needs agents or profiles to really go out and do things the correct way. Also, context window is one of the most important things in the world that we live in. I use GPT 5.5 to run my Hermes agent, and it's only got a 270K token context window. And if you really know AI, you know that getting upwards to 50 to 60% of that usage, it already starts to degrade the work. The quality drops. When you're using multiple different agents with multiple different profiles, they all operate on their own context windows, which is huge because you don't have to worry about it all being under one, and it gets spread out a little bit, so you're getting high quality work, which is what you get at the beginning stages of context window. The default is really the orchestrator, the brain of this whole prompt that you're about to build out. It should know, if you build out your Hermes agent or your OpenClaw agent correctly, what it needs to do and how it needs to get it done. Now, these are the Hermes profiles we have created. So in your Hermes agent, and it's even easier in the new Hermes desktop to go and build profiles, they're in the bottom left. But these are the profiles that I have built so the agent orchestration knows how to use these and what their soul markdown files is. Very important that you make sure you have highly detailed souls to really guardrail each of them. It's pretty simple. Default is going to be my well-rounded orchestrator. I like to call this the CEO because that's what a CEO does. They know how to utilize everybody else to get the best output needed. Your researcher is as simple as that. It's going to go out and do the research needed. To me, I have this as an open-ended agent where it's got a lot more leeway to go out and do things because it's researching. I don't need it to be that closed in. I want it to uncover things I'm not even thinking of. Analysts will turn messy input, typically from some of these other profiles over here, into a much more structured recommendation. That way, when it goes back to the CEO, it knows what to do. Ops is really the internal thinking in steps. It knows what it needs to do next. It knows who it needs to hand things off to. It's really the orchestration layer within each of these. And the reviewer simply will review everything that was done before sending it back to the default CEO. Ordinance is another profile I use. I use it really for separate things besides agent orchestration, but ideally it can be used at times to really pressure test weak logic that it might stumble upon, or risky claims, or just bad assumptions. It's rare this one gets used, but it can be effective if done correctly. So ideally, all of these work in tangent, and then they put a proof, which is going to be a receipt of what was done. So looking into my Obsidian folder, I've actually made it under my governance folder, which is really all of my rules that gets read every single session. The Kanban orchestration tree is used for all non-trivial work. Now, the kind of work we do, since we are implementing these AI systems, these AI workflows, basically a Hermes agent on top of a brain into clients, that's what we do. Link in my bio, shameless plug. When we do this, it's normally non-trivial. non-trivial work. And I noticed when I wasn't doing this and I was sending out single agents, I was getting back output that was just weak. As soon as I transitioned into this orchestration where it does it by default, it is way more effective. It does use more context and usage, so keep that in mind for the subscribers out there, API users, but you're gonna get better output if that's the end goal here. And so this gets read every session. So it will show that orchestration is the default mode it needs to go into, and it will also showcase what is necessary for the profiles, and the profiles get read when it sends them out because they have sole markdown files attached. Going into here, what we're gonna do is a dummy station where I can prove it. So I have this read-only demo just so it doesn't screw up my files in a kind of a dummy company where a local HVAC company wants agent to help with missed call follow-up, quote follow-up, weekly op summary, and Google reviews. The task is figure out which one workflow they should build first. What we're gonna see when I prompt this right away is it's going to start agent orchestration and it's going to send off the correct agents. So you can see right away, it's firing off one researcher, one analyst, one reviewer. It's doing the agent orchestration just as I planned. And I have it where it tells me this line right here, firing off. So that's a default rule I implemented. That way I know when it's not doing agent orchestration in case it ever slips through the cracks, because I am giving it the whole non-trivial work. And sometimes I might think it's not trivial and it might think it is. So this is a good way to safeguard that it's doing what I need it to do. And then the output comes as simple as that. Rook verdict, Rook is the name of my agent, but it billed a missed call follow-up first. The agent readout agreed, the missed call follow-up fastest ROI, quote, strong second, Google review is an easy win, and then weekly op summary is useful, but it's least direct cash impact. Now, this was kind of a simple task. It probably could have did it with a single agent, but I wanted to show the example that it was firing off 3 separate agents. And even if it was simple, it's still a better output because you're utilizing more brains in terms of it. I want to make this video concise. I want to make it easy to understand because it is something that can be a major upgrade to your agent harness with you setting it up correctly. So I would start with first making rules where agent orchestration is defaulted for non-trivial work like I showcased. And then the second thing is go and build out the profile so it knows how to operate within those, and guardrailed the ones for agent orchestration can only use these profiles. And then make it where it's telling you what it's doing for every single time it's using it. It's just a simple thing that can really go a long way so you know kind of why it's working. I think a lot of people have too much trust with their Hermes agent, and instead I like to see what it's actually doing so I can improve upon it if I feel there's more efficient way. If you're interested in more of this, please subscribe, comment. You know that goes a long way for the YouTube algorithm, because I believe truly what me and my business partner have been doing with Hermes agent is truly unmatched. I feel like people still think OpenClaw Hermes agent is a good personal assistant, but it's much more than that. If you've spent hundreds of hours like we have developing it, critiquing it, making it better. And that's why now we have a business model where we are implementing what we know works into other businesses, because we feel any business model can learn and grow from something like this, because it really is the future. That's all I got for this one. Try to make it quick and easy, but if you guys have any questions around it or comments or want me to go more in depth, please comment or even DM me. I'll happily reply.